Yeah, this is Bryce Van Patten from Metal Express Radio Backstage, and today my guest is Nils Molin. Did I say that right?
You did.
Okay, terrific. So, Nils Molin from the band Dynazty, and they've just come out with their 7th album called The Dark Delight, which you guys have self-produced. And I wanted to ask you, as far as producing your own album, how did that go for you guys, and how much work was that?
I mean, it's what we've done for the last 4 albums. Actually, we produced it ourselves in terms of writing the songs and arranging the songs, and not bringing in an outside producer to work on the songs and stuff like that. And it's the working method and the working process that we are used to and very comfortable with at this point. And I mean, it's the way that we write the songs in general that just lends itself to do the full production at the same time. Since we write and we demo at the same time, and that process sort of goes simultaneously. So we're already producing it, and once we start recording the tracks, there is nothing left to do to songwriting and arrangements. It's all there already, and just go in and record it for real.
So you guys already pretty much have a plan. You've done some practice recordings and arrangements.
Yeah, I mean, we've done full-scale demos of the songs, so we know exactly what they will be like, and we do it more or less exactly from start to finish, exactly like the demos when we record them. So we have all the endings figured out and all that stuff. So full-scale demos, and then we just go in and lay down the actual instruments for real.
Yeah, I imagine that can be refreshing, being able to just, be in control of everything like that as a band and see your vision come all the way from start to finish.
I mean, that was the general idea with it when we started working like this, was that we wanted to maintain full control of our music, basically, and our product. And that is one way of making sure that you are in complete control of the whole thing. And since then, we've just been very comfortable and very happy working this way. And I see no reason why we will not continue like that. So
I noticed in the press release that your band members are all working a lot of different projects, including yourself. As far as Lindemann, Payne, and of course you also sing in Amaranth. And so how is it getting together with everybody always busy working at so many things? How do you guys, do you get together as a band to write, or do you kind of trade files and then all come together, or how does that work for you guys?
Well, at the start of the process, we usually start with, sending ideas to each other and working from distance in the beginning. And once we have lots of material, that way we meet up and we start working out the ideas and actually start writing or demos the tracks that we have, and start building on the ones that we have. And we're all busy people, but we surprisingly easy are able to coordinate our schedules and make it work. And sometimes there are some difficulties, but we always manage to solve it somehow. And in terms of songwriting and stuff like that, I don't know. I did over 90 shows last year. Lots of tours, lots of time away. But I still managed to write and record this album. So there's more time than you think.
Mm-hmm. So do you, as the lead singer, do you write your parts then and do the vocals, or is that a collaborative process on melody lines?
I'm very much involved in the full songwriting. This album is written. The majority of the songs is written by me and guitar player Luve, and then guitar player Mike, also heavily involved in 5 tracks, I think. And what we do is we generally trade ideas back and forth, and there might be an instrumental idea that comes from them, or they send it to me, and I start working on vocals or just general chord progressions or whatever, and then I meet up with them and we start demoing the tracks and writing them simultaneously, and then we work out the songs together. We trade ideas and we start putting them together structure-wise to start with ideas. That's generally how the process works.
Excellent. So can I ask, as for you, was there any in particular inspiration for this album? Or was there anything like a plan or a concept or from the start, or is it just, your next group of songs?
I mean, I think the overall idea going into the writing of this album is basically the same as we always do. Like write even better songs than we did on the previous albums. Try to be an even better version of ourselves. And but we did have a bit of a plan as well. I mean, with the previous album, Fire Sign, we sort of went kind of the minimalistic route with everything, and we tried scaling things down and stuff like that. And with this album, we sort of went in the opposite direction. So I mentioned in the press release that we something like we pulled out all the stops, we went all in on this one, and that's what we did in terms of production. We really gave everything we had, and we spent a lot of time with the arrangements and made sure that the whole recording process was done very meticulously. And we were overall very thorough in everything. And in my opinion, I think that really paid off. I think it's a very well-constructed album and a very, very, very strong production.
Yeah, I have to agree completely. I just did the review for you guys for our station, and I felt it was a very strong album. The melodies all stick in your head from start to finish. Even the songs that were not my favorite songs stick in my head. So, we all have our own personal taste, I love the album. I think it's an excellent accomplishment.
Thank you very much.
So for Presence of Mind, your opening track, I noticed you guys have a video for that, and for Waterfall. Are there plans to do more videos for the album?
Yeah, there is. We were actually supposed to shoot another video the final days of March, but this COVID-19 coronavirus thing put a stop to that. And so we're going to have to do that a little bit later. Hopefully we'll be able to do it before the summer.
Yeah,
but it doesn't really affect the schedule because that video was not supposed to be released until a long time. So it doesn't really affect anything anyway at this point. But yeah, there will be. And then there's another video plan as well. So hopefully there will be 2 more videos for this album that's going to be released later on.
Yeah, are you guys doing a video for Hologram?
Yes, we are. How did you know that?
I find that to be one of the strongest songs on the album. So
right, yeah,
excellent melody, excellent, just sticks with you.
This one. This is one of the songs that we that was the plan, to do the 4th video for Hologram, and we sort of picked out the first 3 singles that were going to be released before the album already when we were recording the album. So we did not have the final mixes because we had to do the video shoots and stuff like that, and the schedules were pretty tight in terms of the release date.
Right.
So, and Hologram was one of these songs that just turned out so great once we finally got the final mixes of the album. And it was a track that we definitely saw that, hey, this needs to be a single release. This needs to have a video. So that's why we decided to shoot a video for that one. We'll do that.
Yeah, were you kind of
as soon as we can.
Yeah, were you kind of surprised with how good the song came out then?
I knew the song was good, but there was still there will always be some songs like that that just surprises you. Even doesn't have to be much, but still surprises you a little. And it can be in both directions. Sometimes you end up with the opposite. Like you have this track that you think are going to be so incredibly good once it's recorded, and then it's like, yeah, it's good, but not as good as I expected it to be. And then you have the tracks that just go way beyond your expectations. And it's always very interesting to see how that pans out. But, I knew Hologram was a very strong track, but once the final album version was done, I noticed that there was something really special. And I think it's a really strong, especially as a single track.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like I say, for me, I thought it was maybe the strongest track on the album for just melody and, something that, we call an earworm, right? It sticks in your head. You're walking around. You're not even trying to think about anything. And all of a sudden I've got the melody, still going in my head 2 days later. So that's
right.
a great accomplishment. You guys should really be proud of that. Can I ask for you as a singer who maybe some of your influences were? I have to say, when I listen, I am reminded a little bit of Rainbow in the 80s with Jolyn Turner. Just maybe the same, maybe your voice is a similar range, but just on some of the, just great songwriting. But of course, you guys are more modern and you have a lot more going on than that. But that was kind of, being from where I come from, that was one thing that I noticed or thought. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I mean,
who are you influenced by?
Some of my all-time favorite bands are from the 70s, and in particular stuff that Ritchie Blackmore has worked on. So that goes for both Deep Purple and Rainbow. And I'm especially a huge fan of the Dio era of Rainbow, the first 3 albums. And also I also love the Jolyn Turner era as well. And but as far as my main influences, I mean, it all goes back to the classic rock singers like Ronnie Dio, Rob Halford, Bruce Dickinson, David Coverdale. And in particular, I've never had a vocal coach when it comes to singing, but I consider Ronnie James Dio to be my vocal coach just by listening to him and trying to understand his flawless technique that lasted for so many decades and was always perfect every night. And so I would say that he's probably my biggest influence in terms of singing style and the good things I've learned in terms of technique and stuff like that I've done by studying him and what he does right and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you could go wrong looking there for influence and for
no
ways to become a better singer. Everything he's done is there's not anything. I mean, you can go back to Elf. There's nothing.
Sure.
That he has.
I mean, I sometimes, words sort of fail to describe just how good of a vocalist he was for so many years. I mean, just the stamina, the consistency, and his improvisations just mind blowing. And I can I can go on YouTube and watch all live bootlegs of him from the 80s and be impressed with everything I see. It's just mind blowing stuff. So there aren't any better role models in terms of singing.
So I wanted to ask you also about your other band, Amaranth. An album coming out soon from them as well this year?
Yeah, I mean, there's an album that's being recorded right now, or the recordings have just started. And if the world will let us, that album will be out in the fall.
Awesome. Yeah, I did see a video from a couple months ago with a guest singer. So, but I was, be excited to see that when that comes out. And
yeah.
So I know it's hard to say, but is there a tour plan for later in the year?
I mean, at this point, there's a high level of uncertainty with everything, and everything is a little bit up in the air. But there was a lot of plans for this year. I mean, we had to cancel, with Dynazty, we had to cancel all our touring commitments for April and May. And we were supposed to be out on tour right now, but obviously we were not able to do that, and we had to cancel or at least postpone the whole thing. And I mean, there are plenty of touring plans for me personally with Amaranth for this coming year, and also we have a lot of plans for Dynazty for the fall and for early 2021. But right now, I dare not say anything about anything because at this point everything can change, and who knows what will happen. But hopefully, in a couple of months, this will be back to normal, and we all bands can go out on tour.